Hey Dan. Well, we find ourselves being invaded by the knight, who's coming in from the north here.
A message from the knight.
So he's declared his intention to invade Periwinkle.
Your people are unfortunate to be ruled by you. When I take your lands, they will finally know greatness.
We can close that message, and you can see his army there coming along the road. And if you have a look here in Periwinkle, we do have our castle, our motte and bailey, which means that we have space for 200 troops, and currently we have 100, which is 100 archers stationed there. Now what I'd like to do is garrison some of these troops inside the motte and bailey. So what I'll do is I'll just click on them and click on the castle building here.
Garrison this castle?
It'll ask if we want to garrison, we'll say yes, but
This castle does not have the capacity to barrack this amount of troops.
it'll tell us that we don't have enough space for all of them. So there are 100 troops inside already, there's space for 100 more, but this army is 225 in total. So instead we will split the army.
Split this army?
And what we're going to do is, looking at this makeup, we're going to take all of the crossbowmen, all of the pikemen, because we want long range and defense as much as possible, all of the swordsmen as well. And let's see, we've got space for 12 more, so let's do, oh, why not? We'll throw some knights in there just in case. And just click on the thumbs up. And automatically the 100 that will fit in move their way towards the garrison there. And we can have a look and see, sure enough, there's our 29 crossbowmen, 34 swordsmen, the extra 25 pikemen, and the 12 knights, along with the original 100 archers. Now, as for the other army, we don't want it to get in the way. We could try to move it back up towards Taupe. You can see that after you split an army, it does lose some of its movement. But instead, I'm going to right-click on the army and disband it, and send all of those fellows home.
This army?
You can see that actually increased our population in Periwinkle. Alright, and I'll just have a quick look here, move a few things around. Very good. Oh, nope, we need to send that one back there. Alright. Now what's going to happen is when I end the turn, the knight should keep making his way towards the castle once it's his turn again. So the AI will always have a chance to do whatever it is they're going to do. We'll ignore that notice about the drought. And you can actually see the player order up here. So the yellow was the knight. That's gone now. The red is us. And sure enough, it'll take him one more turn to reach our castle. So we'll just have a quick check. Everything looks alright there. How's everything in Taupe? Looks good. We also have 200 troops barracked here. Roughly the same makeup. Alright. And so we'll end the turn once more. And once the knight reaches our castle, he'll need to essentially build any siege equipment before... yes, and you can see there's a bit of a visual glitch there, but now there's this tent that's being set up, and the number 2. It's a little hard to read on this, but that means it'll take 2 seasons for the knight to complete the siege equipment that his army is building to help take this garrison. Now, what we could do is send our troops out, and they would immediately fight with the knight. But since I wanted to show you what it looks like to defend against an invasion, we'll just leave him as is, and everything looks good in our other seasons, or in our other counties. So ending the turn, going one more season, into spring, you'll see the 2 turns into a 1.
A village reed.
Another random message, very good. Extra grain. Very nice. I'm not sure why there's a little bit of a graphical glitch there, but I had to move my mouse over the tent for it to change. And things are good in Periwinkle, things are good in Taupe. This was the land that had been wrecked by drought, I believe. Very good. Alright, nice. And so once we hit end turn, it will go into the summer, and then before anything else happens, we will have the battle against the night here at Periwinkle's Motte and Bailey. So I'll show you what that battle map looks like. Very good, so the siege commences, and once again, yes, an army comprised mostly of peasants and some long-range units, with a few macemen and swordsmen in there. I feel very good about our chances. Even though we are outnumbered, we have the advantage of being behind the walls to start. So, I'm just going to click yes, or thumbs up. And as we start, you can see that the game is paused, or rather the battle is paused. So we can have a look around. So this is the Motte and Bailey design. The Motte is, I believe, this section up here. It's usually a raised hill with a fortification around it, surrounded by water. And then the Bailey is this wall here, which surrounds a larger courtyard. The idea that being that the enemy will need to come through the Bailey, make their way up through this narrow section here to get all the way to your flag in the Motte. Now, important to know that this flag, if it is captured by the enemy, you will lose automatically, even if you still have troops left. And speaking of troops, let's see what the knight has brought. Yes, we've got some peasants, crossbowmen, some swords, macemen, a few archers, and these siege towers. All right, so there are 3 siege engines that you can build: towers, catapults, and battering rams. What the towers do is move towards the walls, and then once they find an appropriate spot, they open up and allow troops to move from the outside to the inside of the walls. When you're defending, you also have access to these pots of boiling oil, so they will move around just like regular soldiers when you give them orders, but when you give them the attack command, they will tip over and cover the ground in front of them with hot oil, which will do damage to anyone who is standing in it. And that includes your own troops, so be aware of that. We have, of course, our usual commands to unpause, to retreat, to open the drawbridge. We don't have a drawbridge here. That's only for castles that have a moat around them, which would be the Stone Castle and the Royal Castle. Mop up if you want to send all your troops towards the enemy all at once. And of course, auto-calculate if you don't feel like carrying out any more orders yourself. But let's unpause and see what the knight does. I think the first thing we'd like to do is move a bunch of these long-range troops up to the front here. And oh, we've got some nice archers right there as a target, and you can see the hot oil does some damage to them. They seem to be stuck on the gate there. I'll send these other troops in behind for defense. And if he's going to line up a bunch of peasants like that, I'm just going to send some more oil their way. Very good. Now, when your bowmen are up on the walls like this, they actually have a defensive advantage. So even if the enemy has archers to fire in, they won't be able to do as much damage as the archers and crossbowmen firing out. Alright. So, nope. I don't want you there. So you see, your troops can move freely in and out, but of the gates, I should say. But the enemy has to, pardon me, has to knock down the gate. Now, up here on the top left, you can see they've got all of their troops working here on the moat, and you can see they're digging in. So they're trying to fill in the moat so that they can cross that little barrier there. I'm going to send these archers over so they can do a bit more work, and bring some up from this side as well. So it seems like what the knight wants to do is fill in this side of the moat and then send the siege towers across to open up access to the moat. And what do we have down here? We'll leave a few here just for any stragglers. Like these, oh yes, these crossbowmen here. Very good. So as you can see, now every soldier is able to fill in moats except for knights. So, as you can see, they aren't allowed to really do anything else except, well, except dig in. But we will be able to do quite a good amount of damage just by shooting them with our long-ranged units. There we go. We have no more to speak of over there, so let's bring these archers up here. And things are going pretty well for us, but I'd like to finish this a little quicker, so I'm going to bring my knights out. We're going to sally forth. Bring them up here, and then they can attack from this side. And once they're out of troops, we will have successfully defended our castle. Or Mott and Bailey in this case. And we'll have a quick little rundown. As you can see, yes, they did manage to shoot some of our archers and crossbowmen with their own archers and crossbowmen, but losing 23 troops, whereas they lost, it was well over 300, I think. So, fairly well done. Now, the other thing that you can see here is that there has been some damage done, so we will need to repair the castle, or repair the garrison, but that won't take very much. Alright, Dan, thanks for watching. Next time I'll show you how to expand your territory, and maybe even do a siege battle of our own from the other side. Alright, I'll talk to you later.